Hello everyone, I'm Colin with CNAW 2 News, and we are here with a special interview at Lake Bottom Park with Jerome Lawson, who is part of the Cure Violence program. Now, Jerome, can you tell me how you got here and tell your life story pretty much?
Well, I'm a native resident of Columbus, Georgia. I am from the south side of Columbus, born in Baker Village in 1982. My mom and dad, they were married at a young age and had all of us at a young age. And I came from an environment of drug dealing and seeing basically everything that produced me into what I became, and that's, seeing crime and drug addicts and being in that environment. So at the age of 16, I committed an armed robbery and went to prison, and I had to serve do 10 years, and that was mandatory. So I did 10 years, and when I came home, as a result of being in prison, I got my culinary degree. I was on the debate team, and I took up a lot of trades so that I can come home with the tools needed to be successful. So when I came home, one of my biggest passions was to cook, but also to give back to my community. And fortunately, Cure Violence came along and gave me that platform to do that. And I've been doing just that by being involved with a lot of programs in the community, working with the Muskogee County Jail Valley Ministry, with the Community Supervision Office, showing people who are getting out of prison, basically the blueprint of not to go back to prison, showing them the doors that was closed to me, but the process of how to get them open. So using my background of being an ex-offender, and now I got a pardon, I've opened up my own business. I got a food truck called Twist Skillet.
Oh, wow.
I'm married with a beautiful wife, and I got 2 beautiful daughters, 4 and 2 years of age. And I work for DPH with Cure Violence, and that was an amazing opportunity for me because it's a state job, and they was able to change the requisitions to give me, people like myself, an opportunity to work. So ultimately, this is an incentive to people like myself that jobs are becoming available, opportunities are coming available, and we have to be in a position to receive these things. And those are the resources that I'm trying to bring to the community to change the quality of life in the way people think. Because it's one thing to have hope, but it's another to not know what hope is. And a lot of people where I'm from, we're not accustomed to what hope is. We're just trying to survive, and we need to let them know that it's more to life than just survival. You can live and you can thrive by ultimately changing the norm and the quality of living.
Absolutely. So how can our local organizations and businesses and authorities change the requirements to hire ex-offenders?
Well, I don't know the exact criteria. However, we know that the state of Georgia, through the Department of Health, changed their criteria to hire people like myself with previous backgrounds. And I'm not talking about people with habitual offenses. I'm talking about people with my criteria. One crime committed at a young age that hasn't been back in trouble like myself. I got a partial pardon, but when you look at other agencies and authorities, you have to understand, are they willing to change these prerequisites to be able to hire people that are culturally connected like myself to make the efforts of what they're trying to do more effective? Just imagine, you will never hear of somebody hiring a coach that's never played a professional sport and expecting them to take you to a championship. So we need to hire people that are from these communities, considering the position that they're in. If they have a background similar to mine, then doors should be open so these guys can work as correctional officers or sheriffs or policemen. We have to ask ourselves, why aren't we letting these people who we know can help in the door so they can be effective help and resolve the issues that we have? Peer-to-peer counseling is proven to help. So we need people of the same like-mindedness and the same background to get in these positions and ultimately help the people that we're disconnected from.
So how can the public learn more about Cure Violence?
Well, they can go to westcentralhealthdistrict.com. Cure Violence has a link on their website. We also have a Facebook page called Cure Violence Columbus. And on there, we make updates about our activities in the community. And we also share updates about our partners and how we have a relationship with them. And if they're offering jobs, housing, or education, we offer all those services, and we share that information on the Facebook page.
That's awesome. So what compelled you, Jerome, to help this team of Cure Violence and combat the violence in our city?
Well, I come from that type of environment, and so I have a personal tie to the issues that we're dealing with. And unfortunately, through my past, I was one of the ones who laid that groundwork for this type of behavior. So it's only right that I go back into the communities that I came from and that I was a part of to use my platform and that community credibility to go back in and try to help save it and change it.
That's perfect. That's so amazing. I can't thank you enough for doing what you're doing. I mean, that's truly amazing.
Well,
Columbus needs cure violence for sure.
Well, yes, Columbus needs cure violence, but I think what it needs most importantly is for the community to cure its own violence.
Yes.
And if we can revive that spirit of community, we can ultimately change the quality of life and the behavior.
So what do you do on a weekly basis with cure violence?
Well, a lot of times we go into the communities, we got what we call violence interrupters. They go into the communities that they're from ultimately, and they go out and they put boots on the ground to intervene and interfere in conflict and violence by meeting with the people where they are. We connect with the neighborhood people who've been there for a while, and we just develop a relationship with them or further the relationship that we already have, and we introduce ourselves as genuine concerned people trying to just bring about a change. When we think about what we're trying to do in the community, we cannot exempt or negate the idea of our approach. People ask, how can we change the minds of our youth, which is committing a lot of the crimes? First, we have to tear down the psychological trauma that's been built up because of what they've been experiencing. We got to address the mental health and the psychological well-being of these people. And we do this by using the same people who've experienced these experiences. Not people who sat in the class and been taught and learned of this, but people who are actually not degree-based, but experience-based.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this interview. I'm sure Columbus definitely needs to hear the words that you're saying because we obviously have a huge crime issue in Columbus. Again, thank you so much for taking part in this interview. This has been Colin Scroggins with CNAW 2 News. Have a great day and be safe.